Hi there, friends. Today we'll be making a review of another Bible. But before anything else, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to click on that bell so that you will be notified of any future videos that will be uploaded for you to watch. Alright? So here, what we have here is from Ascension, the Great Adventure Bible, which uses the Revised Standard Version, Second Catholic Edition. Alright, I've had this Bible for quite a while, since January. I didn't make the review right then and there. I've been using this during my studies, and also I've been using it as a daily reading Bible. Alright, so this Bible comes with this two-piece box. The box is not that thick, but it could protect your Bible from anything, from heat, from getting wet, and being open to other elements. Alright, so moving on, the Great Adventure Catholic Bible, which uses the Revised Standard Version, Second Catholic Edition. At the back, they're full of colors. Okay, so the details, we have the color-coded learning system. Actually, this Bible utilizes the what do you call that? The Great Adventure Bible timeline. I don't have it right now, but I can show it to you one of these days. So we have articles, 21 articles, charts, key event callouts, 70 key event callouts, 16 full color maps. The words of Jesus are in red ink, and the cover is alpha cowhide and 2 ribbon markers. Now, you could pause for a while if you want to read these details. Alright? And to give you a brief background of the whole Bible, okay? So, from creation to the early world, to Egypt, Exodus, conquest and Judges, divided kingdom, return, and the messianic fulfillment. And this is in the New Testament. And here we also have the ISBN number. So, moving on. And this is the Bible itself. This is the alpha cowhide cover. The cover is kind of thick, which is really good for me. The way the Bible is made, so it would, how do you say that? The thickness of the cover would help you protect your Bible, even though if you use it every day. Okay? It's very smooth, soft, even though it's a little bit thick. And we have this emblem, the Great Adventure Compass, and at the spine we have Holy Bible, okay, the Compass of the Great Adventure, Revised Standard Edition, Second Catholic Edition, and Ascension. The leather is color blue. I like it how they did it. Okay, there is no gold gilding, but you could see there are different color tabs. I'll explain it later on. Alright? So moving on, we have the presentation page. Alright? We also have some details here for the baptism, confirmation, Holy Communion, marriage. Then we have the title page. Now, this is the Catholic edition of the RSV. Showing it to you, we have the Nihil Obstat and Imprimatur, printed in the United States. And we have the introduction to the 1966 edition of the RSV. Now, actually, the RSV that we're using right now is the 2006 Ignatius edition. And moving on, we have the books of the Bible. We have the books of the Bible in alphabetical order. We have the abbreviations and notes, the deuterocanonical books, and we have also the index of articles, charts, maps, and key events. Now, these articles and maps are spread throughout the Bible. Now, here's the thing. This is a helpful tool if you want to study the Bible. This would give you a better understanding of the whole events, the historical account of the Bible. These articles would really help you dive deeper into the Word. It would help you understand how events are interconnected. Now, I haven't been using this as a study guide because I already have my own system, but this is a helpful tool if you want to go deeper. Okay, the Foreword to the Great Adventure Catholic Bible. Okay, this Bible is actually edited, or should I say made by Jeff Cavins. So this is an introduction by Jeff Cavins. And this is the flow, the narrative supplemental books. The entire Bible is actually color-coded, and we have this reading plan for the whole, I think it's for the whole 3 months. Not bad. And we have the how to interpret the Bible. We have applying scriptures to our lives. What about the Old Testament? We have other issues. Now, there are recommended resources for this article. We have the Lectio Divina. Now, if you want to use this specific Bible for the Lectio Divina, there's an article here that would help you conduct your own Lectio Divina. Now, we are moving on to the Bible itself. Okay, so this is the Old Testament. Now, this is what I'm talking about. So this is the early word. Okay, so we have the narrative books. This cover Genesis 1 to 11, supplemental books, God's family plan. We have the northern countries, the land of Canaan, southern Egypt. The current world power during this period is Egypt. All right, so you'll see that everywhere in the Bible. That is why I highly recommend this, especially for us Catholics. If you really want to have a better understanding of the Bible, this may not be a complete study Bible, but this would really help you better understand the flow of the biblical stories. So we have the early world. We have the summary, we have the narrative, and the picture is really, well, this is the creation of Adam by Michelangelo. This is God the Father and Adam. This is one long introduction. Creation as cosmic temples, the drama of sin, redemption, and the new creation. And here is the covenants of salvation. You'll see that there are different symbols at the top. Okay, the rainbow, the knife, the 2 tablets, the crown for the kingship, and this is for the Eucharist. The covenants of salvation history covers the topic about our salvation history, starting from the Old Testament. Alright, so let me show this to you. This is the covenant structure of salvation. Alright, moving on. The covenant at creation. This covers Genesis 1 to 3. And we are starting in the book of Genesis. Alright, the first book of Moses, commonly called Genesis, and this has its own color code. Key event callouts. Okay, we have reference footnotes, translation footnotes, and this is very readable. It has a fairly minimum amount of bleed through, so you won't be able to actually see the other side. And this is also line matched, a 2-column format. The font is very readable for some of you who have problem with their with their eyes. You won't have any problem reading from this Bible. See? Key event callouts again from the fall, curse and promise. Now for every key event there is a corresponding number. Number 2. Key event 3. This is for number 3. Alright. So moving on. We have the flood. Key event 5. Now let's move on to the patriarchs. At least this is still part of Genesis, and there is a different color code already for this one, the patriarchs. That's 220 to 2200 BC to 1800 BC, and it covers Genesis 12 to 50, the color burgundy, which represents God's blood covenant with Abraham. Okay, so the northern countries, and then the land of Canaan. Ignore the cats outside. And we have the full article of the patriarchs. Isaac Blessing Jacob by Nicholas Gage Guy Burnett. So for every period, there are different paintings by different artists of the past. We have the summary, narrative, significance for the plan of salvation, the binding of Isaac, Melchizedek, failed firstborns, and now we are moving on to the biblical text. So this is very interesting. Actually, since the time that I've been using this, this is my support Bible next to my NAB. Next to my NAB. All right. Let's move on to the next book. Now we have Egypt and Exodus. So there's a summary for the Exodus. You have narrative, significance, the tabernacle, the divine name. It's very helpful. Okay? Now if we move on to the next book, let's see. There's no introduction for Leviticus, but because the introduction is meant for the time period, not for the specific books. So you won't get confused on the flow. See. We have the desert wanderings for the book of Numbers. And this is the introduction for the desert wanderings. So this is really nice. The color coding of the different time period, not for the said books. This would really help you understand the flow of the entire Bible. Now let's move on to, I think the font size of this Bible is 10. I think so. Now, I love how the Psalms is made. It is written in a verse by verse, although the whole Bible is not verse by verse. You'll definitely love this. There are spaces here where you can write, but this is not a wide margin Bible. But I strongly suggest you use a notebook instead of this one if you want to write notes, and put a reference on what verses, the books. All right, so let's move on to the New Testament. Now, this is interesting. The New Testament is the messianic fulfillment. Right? That God's family plan. The narrative books for the Bible, for the New Testament, is Luke. Supplemental books, Matthew, Mark, and John. God's family plan, that is the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church, which is made reference in Luke 22. See, for the northern countries we have Herod the Great, Herod Antipas. Now, and the world power during this time is Rome. Now, I love this. This is the painting of the Last Supper by Karl Bloch. We have a complete article before the start of the entire New Testament. This is the introduction for the whole New Testament. And we have Matthew. Now, the words of Christ here are in red. Interesting. See? And if there are any reference to the Old Testament, it is printed separately from the text. Man shall not live by bread alone. This is so beautifully made. Now, let's see the account of Mark, if we have the longer version for the ending of Mark. Yes. So they do have the longer version. They do have the longer version for Mark. Now, let's move on to the last part of the Bible. After the book of the Revelations, alright, after the book of the Revelations, we have blank pages for notes, and then we have the maps for the history of salvation. Now, the maps are printed in cardstock, and it is very detailed and very colorful. It's very attractive, actually. I like how they made it. Very simple but detailed. And after that, we're done. Now, in conclusion, my suggestion, get a copy of this one. You'll definitely understand the Bible from the perspective of a Catholic, especially Jeff Cavins, a former Protestant pastor, and he already converted to the Catholic faith. And he is a helpful guy, actually, a helpful person. With his Bible time plan, you could use that time plan with the Bible, so you would have a better understanding of the flow of the story of of our salvation history. So get a copy of this one, alright? And see you again next time.